It's connected. Oh, it should be okay. All right, that is fantastic.
You have all that. Exactly. I'll pick it up.
Oh. Go for it.
Okay, hi everyone. So we're gonna start our meeting. So I motion to call the meeting to order. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we're gonna start with roll call.
We will. My pen just.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought. Okay.
Sorry, I did this.
It's all good. Oh, right. Do believe you all know the drill for this? I'm gonna go down the list. Audie. Annie's mentioned she won't make it today. Ashna.
Here.
Avika. I changed it this time. Got the K now. Brett mentioned he was not going to be here. Corinne. There you go. Elizabeth. Elle.
Here.
Awesome. Emma.
Here.
Anna.
Here.
Josh.
Here.
Guy.
Here.
Lauren. Lindsay.
Here.
Lisa.
Oh, here.
No, oh, I got you like a mouthful. I used to be server. Liv mentioned she was not going to make it. Michael.
Here.
Neil.
Here.
Okay. Rachel. Samson mentioned he was not going to make it. Satya.
Here.
Sebastian.
Here.
Maybe I forget. You like to go by 7.
Yeah.
Sorry. There we go. And Zoe mentioned she was not going to make it today. All right, that is a roll call.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So I move to approve the agenda. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, so the agenda is approved. So now we have public comment.
We don't have anyone in the Zoom call, so that's nothing.
Okay, perfect. So we'll move right on to our team building. So, we have something by Josh today that we put together. So.
Yeah, so today, we're gonna be splitting you guys into 2 teams, and you guys will be competing in a game of Pictionary. So each team is gonna send out a representative to the front to draw something, and then you guys have to guess the word faster than the other team. And yeah.
Yeah, we have the words for you. So you'll send up a representative. Are we doing, how are you doing it? Like one from each?
Yeah, just like one from each. Well, like one person, one from each team, and you guys will each draw your like separate thing, and then the team has to guess like their representative's drawing.
They're drawn together.
How do you want to these?
Right down the middle.
Yeah, I have number of people off.
Sure, we'll just do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll just be 2. Yeah. Okay, great. So just remember your number. I'm just gonna go back and forth and split you guys up. So you're 1, you're 2. Would you like to say that? Yeah, but it's not even because if they guess me, I'm who's they're guessing for. Wait.
Yeah,
Okay, great. So.
so you can on this side and that side, you know.
Okay, yeah. You're 1, you're 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we should. Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay, great. So
Got markers?
yeah, so yes, evens over here and then odds over here. So or 1s and 2s.
Who has not played Pictionary? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
All right, just want to make sure. You have not. You have not either. All right. Basically, to run down Pictionary, you get a net, you get the person on your team goes up there, they'll get a word. They have to try their best to draw the thing that represents that word on the board. You can't use any letters. You can't
Yeah.
write the word, and so you have to take guess what that word is based on the. Essentially. There should be, I think there's a time limit. I'll ask you.
You can see the board.
Yeah.
30 seconds to guess. I'm one. With 13.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. It's gonna be a free for all. Got it.
Free for all?
Free for all is in like both teams can say what it is, and whoever gets it gets it.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, but we need one person to nail it out. Yeah. Okay, so,
Oh, you're having both teams go at the same time.
yeah.
I was assuming like people draw something. You just have to-
Yeah. one person.
Okay.
Okay. So, should we wear teams choose? Yeah, do we have some representatives? Does anyone from either team want to come up and do some drawing and win some points for your team? If not, you guys can designate someone. You can pick someone else from your team and set them up.
All right, now team one. All right. Team two.
I think Neil should be the second person.
Oh, no.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
Government or the council?
Congratulations to Team 2 for winning. I hope you guys had a great team building activity and your group there as a council.
It's bringing where that is.
Yeah. You can get tricked too. Okay, thank you guys so much for participating. So next up for our agenda, we have the SYLC interview and feedback and recommendations.
I
So,
can speak on that one.
yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Sure. So last last meeting, there was a couple candidates that came in to interview for open vacancy. And they did their interviews. Essentially, what the town's doing here is we want your feedback about said candidates. That feedback and those recommendations will go to the town board for consideration when those candidates go up to the board to be interviewed, essentially. If you check your emails, I sent out a form around 3-4 o'clock today. It's a Google form. So please go ahead and submit your feedback on that. You'll need to fill out one form per person, essentially. For those who I told, sorry, I'm mistaken you. I'm mistaken you over other people. So definitely stay. Otherwise, if you all want, you're more than welcome to have an open discussion about both candidates. If you all need reminders who said candidates are, it's in your email. Otherwise, how do you all want to proceed? You have to fill out the forms now. Sooner the better when it comes to filling out this form, because I need to get this to the board. How do you want? Do you want to fill out the forms now, or do you want to do that at the meeting? Have to do by the end of the week, and but you have an open discussion now.
We can do it. I don't think the forms are necessary immediately because if we want to talk about it as a group, then maybe opinions might change.
Okay.
So we can do that at the end after we're done with our discussion, if you guys are open to that. That's okay with everyone. And then, yeah, we can make those due by the end of the week. But I think for now, yeah, an open discussion, like you said, is a really good idea. So yeah, it was Zach and, I'm so sorry, what was the Berkeley?
Yeah, Zach and Berkeley.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, and we're gonna have our open discussion now.
So, does anyone want to start us off with this? We can just talk about it. You guys can talk about positives, negatives, anything that stood out in their 2 interviews that made them a potentially like great candidate. Crystal.
I thought Zach made a good candidate because of his experience in background. Because it helped him figure out how to work in an organization. So I think that's a good experience.
My concern is like for like longevity, right? Because I know Zach is a senior and Berkeley is a junior, like a sophomore, yeah. So if we're appointing someone to our council starting January who's going to graduate come May, it's like how long is that going to last? I just don't know.
That's a very important aspect to think about too.
I mean, I think he's a good candidate. If it's that he's becoming a senior, I mean, I don't know if it's like, if he thinks that would be fine, but yeah, if you don't even here for like however many months and then leave because it goes till you're a senior and then you have to leave.
So it's not so much about what if he thinks it's fine. This is your decision.
Yeah.
So do you think that's fine? No.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how many spots do we have open?
Currently one.
Currently one.
Yep.
So would we pick between the two then?
The ultimate decision comes to town board, but your recommendations, and discussion points are brought to town board for their consideration as well. So what is it about, Zach's organization that kind of spoke out to you?
I've kind of learned a lot about teamwork. I'm friends with him, so he talks to me about what he does with Becca. He does team exercises, which is good to know. So he kind of is able to work with a council to achieve certain goals when it comes to either competitions or different events. I just think it's a good aspect that, and I think it's still, even though he's not going to be here for a super long time, it's good to have him for the amount of time either way. I think he can still do the same amount of work as he did in the year. Maybe not volunteering wise, but just ideal wise, he brings to the table.
Okay.
One thing that I noticed with Zach is that he has come to a lot of SYLC hosted events already. So he went to Monster Mash, I believe. But he went to more than just that. And I think that that showed like initiative to be part of this group, which I think is really important, whereas our other candidate hasn't yet. So I think that's something to consider, is like someone who is available to be able to, you know, help us in those times. Another thing that was brought up during Berkeley's like interview was the fact that she does a lot of things over the weekends that she like possibly would not be able to join like our, you know, the things that we host, the events. So that might be a concern to think about. But
You know, I agree with Rachel. I think it's really important that like Zach has been here for like a lot of previous meetings. And even though he's gonna be graduating in like 5 months, he's been like a part of our council already kind of for like these past 3 months. So, you know, he has like experience and stuff. That makes him a good candidate.
Yeah, I think that's good. He's kind of shown that he's willing to invest the time and work into the SYLC. And that kind of shows that he actually wants to be here. He's not trying to add it on this one last credit to a resume. I think it shows that he actually wants to be here and he wants to make a change, showing by him attending all the meetings and coming to Monster Mash plus other events.
Okay. Does longevity concern anybody? And there's a short time frame.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have very many meetings left, and I feel like since like the process is like a lot, I feel like maybe it's learning somebody that will like be able to be here for a while. Like, since she's only sophomore, it should be here already. It's in there. I think it makes the process not work.
Considering potentiality when it comes to both candidates, and you can put this in the form, basically, but definitely consider what's more important, having someone who has that experience to be here for a short amount of time to try to have that impact, or giving someone the opportunity to grow to becoming a leader over the course of a few years. It's something to definitely consider as well. When it comes to Berkeley, is anyone friends with Berkeley? You mind speaking a little bit more on her experience and like her extracurriculars, if you are familiar?
Well, she does a lot of choirs. She like at one point I think she was in like 7 choirs. But and then yeah, I think she put a couple of them to like. But, oh, she can't be here because of a family emergency.
Yeah.
But what would she do? I don't know. What was like
So can you kind of like, I know Steve mentioned she was a part of a bunch of organizations and she was potentially leading some of said organizations, more so kind of like, what do you see leadership qualities in her? You can expand on this if you're familiar with it. If you're not, that's totally A-okay, in which case you can just give us your thoughts about like, do you think Berkeley would be a good candidate for the vacancy?
I think she's a good leader. I think she's really good at coming up with like ideas for solutions compared to most people.
Mhm.
Like anytime we have a problem in like our friend group, she's always the one that like is going to solve the problem. But we're all, I don't know. But she's usually taking ownership of a lot of stuff like that.
Mhm.
And she always tries to the best.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else have thoughts about Berkeley's interview during or just any participation with the committee, the past meeting at all?
I think she spoke well. I think what she said was like pretty good, and I'm having a hard time remembering what she said, but I think it was good. I think, yeah, unless she's just like super busy, then it might be if she's able to come to the volunteering much, but you know, I guess really no. It's just whether she wants to commit to that or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like something to consider is I feel like a lot of us are pretty busy and like on paper it might be like, oh, like you don't have time for this other thing, but like we're able to make the time for SYLC because I feel like if someone is going through the effort to apply and come in for interviews, like they are willing to commit to it. So I would assume that both candidates are willing to commit to it regardless of like what else they have going on. And I would say that it is like, even if like Zach might have like already demonstrated leadership qualities, it's also like important to have people who will be able to develop those leadership qualities over time. I know when I joined SYLC, like sophomore year, I like, wasn't doing anything and like outside of school really. And like, I don't think I could have passed this interview because these are two really good candidates. But yeah, I mean, I feel like these are just kind of important considerations and you guys can make your own opinions about these. But we don't have to come to a consensus as a council.
Mhm. Sorry. Okay. You don't need to come to a consensus. You're more than welcome to. That is for you all to decide. I won't make that decision for you. We do have those feedback forms.
I think that would bring us to a consensus.
Yeah, again, yeah. Don't want to share.
Yeah.
I mean, so feedback forms are anonymous, so no one will know who put in what. So you have an anonymity to give your honest opinion about the candidates that interviewed last night. And anonymity, anyway. You all have anything else you want to expand on these candidates?
Yeah, I think we went over almost everything that happened. I just wanted to say that I agree with what Elizabeth was saying. It did seem like Berkeley was really well spoken and she did respond to our comments and questions really well. And so did Zach, of course. Both of the candidates were really great. So ultimately it's up to you guys. You can fill out that form. Make sure you do that by Friday. But yeah, I'm glad that we just had this discussion to like go over some of the things that we talked about because I know some people weren't there, maybe they don't remember. So but yeah, sounds like we're good.
And I appreciate y'all's patience as we're still figuring out this entire process. It's new for everybody involved. So there's gonna be some bumps, there's gonna be some bruises, but we'll get that process down for this for sure. One last thing, please check your email. Like right now, make sure I get the email I have on file got sent to you. Just to see the form got sent to you because sometimes my emails get landed in your spam folders for whatever reason. So if you don't mind just checking at the moment, I would appreciate that. If you have the capabilities to. I know some people don't carry their phone and laptops with them. No, we'll grab Zach and bring you back in. If you do not get the email, just come see me. We'll confirm your emails after the meeting. Cool. You want to move on?
Yeah, okay, so moving on. So we have a lot of upcoming events. So we wanted to talk about those with you guys. So the first one that we have is the Sock 2 Socks stuffing.
Yeah.
In January.
So I know Jen is absent from this meeting and she was the one who was kind of taking charge of this. Do you kind of any updates about this at all?
Should be back.
She'll get back to that?
Yeah.
Okay, heard. So TBD at the moment.
Okay, great. And then next we have Parents Night Out. So there's a couple things with this. So, first we have to create a work group for this. So currently it's, yeah, so, okay, yeah. So Parents Night Out is something that we hold as like a group ourselves. We're not involved with like any others. But normally we do this at El Dorado. And it's basically kind of what it sounds like, Parents Night Out. So we, like allow parents to drop off their children, and then we kind of act as like a child care for the parents. And then basically we just like play games with them. There's normally how many kids? Yeah, like 50 kids. It's a pretty big thing that we hold. So, and then we just get to play games. We'll normally host a movie. There'll be different people doing different things, but we need a lot of volunteers for it because it's one of our biggest events. So currently we have it at on February 14th. But that is like a fluctuating date based on if El Dorado is available at that time, so we don't know that quite yet. But I think we should create a work group for it. Yeah.
We should, especially go on marketing out for it, and we're coming up with activities, and like if you all need supplies, figuring out what supplies you need.
Yeah.
My hope with this time around is when you create this work group, I would get like bring the supplies out, so you all can take an inventory, so you know exactly what you want.
Okay.
That's the idea. For the event itself, it is yes, but I don't feel like if you completely up to y'all, you want to decide as well, work group could be more efficient in many ways. So in a work group it's less hands in the kitchen kind of situation, especially when it comes to smaller projects to be done. So the marketing or taking the inventory kind of situation. So completely for you, if you want, how you want to decide that.
We should probably like these groups together.
It's just one work group.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, okay, so basically like for Parents Night Out, from a volunteer perspective, that's kind of like an all hands on deck event. We are expecting you guys to be there. If something comes up, that's like always, we understand. But that's kind of one of those events where we need the whole council to be there. But there is like some planning that has to happen between now and then that we won't necessarily do at meetings. So that's why we would create a work group. And what that would mean is you're just meeting like a couple times between now and Parents Night Out. You're going over like the materials that we already have. What materials do we need? What kind of foods do we want? Just like details of the event and logistics. So yeah, I guess like we can get. Yeah. So I guess just raise your hand if you're interested in participating in that work group. That doesn't mean like if you're not participating in the work group, that doesn't mean you're not participating in Parents Night Out, but we're just hoping that like you'll be willing to like take a role in organizing it. So that would be the work group.
That's an all hands on deck for a work group. Okay. Well, that makes time.
Okay, so next up, is there anything else we need?
Definitely.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. So yeah, as we were, yeah. So as we said, it's currently, we're like hoping for it to be on February 14th. However, that's not a set date because we aren't exactly sure El Dorado is available at that time. So we need to think about a different date just in case.
Okay. Sure. Oh. All right, so currently you all have it slated for February 14th. But what is the backup date you all would like to have just in case we cannot get El Dorado for that date?
Would we want to do like that Friday weekend before, or? Yeah, is there like
Sorry. 7 potentially?
Yeah.
You must.
Would you guys rather do it on a Friday than a Saturday? I think in the past we've done Fridays, so it's like after school.
February.
But
both dates are Friday.
yeah, I know, but
I'm
like
sorry.
for a backup date, like if we
Yeah.
want to move it to the weekend. I think Fridays worked really well in the past, but unless anyone has opinions about that. Okay, yeah, so then I'd say the backup could be the 7th or the 21st of President's Day.
Yes, I think it is. United States. 17th is.
Oh, okay, so then we're fine. Yes.
Yeah, I guess we could do the 7th or the 21st is our backup date.
Yeah.
Do you all know what your schedules look like?
I may not be available on the 7th, but that's just me.
You might want to listen to it.
Yeah, that works. So this is just for a backup date. Our primary date will be on the February 14th. Maybe we can try to make it like parents can go out for Valentine's Day and you can watch their kids. But for the backup date, we'll just take a quick vote on if it's the 7th or the 21st. So yeah, who wants it to be on the 7th? Raise your hand.
Back. I said
Yeah.
7. It's like 12.
And then who would rather have our backup date be the 21st? Raise your hand. Okay.
Well, from the 7th. Okay. I also need approval to use your funds to do a reservation bill route. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like raise your hands if you're okay with us using funding for this, because we need to approve that. If you're not, we'll also have a no vote.
It will be the beginning of the year, so your funds will be refreshed.
Do we have any no votes on that? Okay.
Awesome. So to kind of give you a couple of deadlines, Josh, if you don't mind putting these deadlines out in the notes. With the work group, the sooner we get this marketing out, the better. Kind of speaking with Michaela and with our comms department, we will want any kind of marketing material you all want to put out at least 2, maybe 3 weeks in advance. And we need to get that submitted to marketing 2 weeks before that. So mid-January is what I need marketing material.
Just like for you guys, basically what we usually do with the marketing is like, we just try to like get it to the elementary kids and their parents. We do have a sign up for this one. So it's the first 50 people that sign up will be in. We usually get all 50 of those signups. But yeah, does anyone have like specific ideas on how you might want to market this, or we can just stick with what we've done?
I was gonna say, I know someone that does, it's like a mom that does the Friday folders at like El Dorado. It's where the kids get like month or weekly folders of different things. So if we're able to try and get access to that, we have like a little sheet, put it in the folders so then parents at home can see it. Is another way to like get that out.
And I do know to get those submitted, we have to get those submitted pretty early. So you're taking charge of like getting the work group organized and getting them going, right? Take charge of getting that marketing material with that work group going then.
We have the correct flyer for the okay, but can you?
That's okay.
Well, I think we just know.
Marketing work group, because we have like everybody inside. We want to solve
It would be good for work purposes or for record retention purposes. It would be good to kind of create a separate chapter for parents night out.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so,
It is including everybody.
that's true, so.
Yeah, then you get the general thing, you get like February blank, 2025. That's easy to slide in.
That works. So that's something we can work on with the work group.
Excellent.
Great. Okay. So I guess we're good.
No, that's good.
Okay, great.
There.
Okay, so our last upcoming event that we need to talk about today is the STEM-a-thon. So this is held in March, and for those of you who don't know what it is, we basically have this time for kids to come and they get to like do a bunch of different fun activities, and we host them that have to be like STEM related. So I wasn't there last year personally, but I know we have different clubs from schools come, and anybody who's just kind of interested in it, and we're the volunteers for that. So this is also a pretty big thing for us, but we just need to talk also about a work group. I think it's the same as Parents Night Out, where we need those people to help us.
Not so much because the volunteers we have there it's just kind of like we're helping and making sure things go to plan. But like most of the people who are like leading the activities will be people from local clubs. Because like we would get like Fairview's Science Olympiad, and then we get Monarch's Technology Student Association, and they would each like run an activity. I think we have like 5 to 10 clubs, and those activities can be like spaghetti tower building or like coding and things like that. So usually it's the club members running those activities, but then we're just helping them and like helping the kids know where they're going, helping people sign in. So that's the kind of thing where we don't necessarily need everyone to be there. I think there's probably not enough work for all of us all to do if we're there, but if you guys want to come, feel free to. It's very fun. So we're not going to limit volunteers on that one, but it's definitely not a need to be there.
The work group more so for this one is getting in contact with clubs and organizing that months in advance.
So I guess the big thing on the work group is people who maybe have connections to STEM related clubs at their school that they can contact and say, hey, can you come here? Or if you guys are like in the club, try to get your club to come join. We'll be able to send out information on specifics so you can refer to your club for that. But yeah, so we will also create a work group for STEM-a-thon.
It might be a good idea. The sooner we get talking to these clubs, the better.
We usually like spend probably 7 years.
Yeah, so can we just like get some hands for a few people who might want to be on that STEM-a-thon work group?
Wait, what is this gonna happen?
It's just sometime in March, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm currently working with our facilities.
Like just agreeing to kind of help coordinate the club for the event
Yeah.
and things like that. And then it's okay if you can't make it when we end up picking the date. So it's not necessary.
You're all more welcome to pick a date. This meeting as well, if anything helps me talk with Karen about it. This is for the work group. Okay. Hey. As a sidebar, when is your spring vacation? I know it falls in March usually.
Yeah.
Okay. That's last week of March. That's what it is. That's when your vacations are. At least for BBSD students.
We also need to avoid like the SAT testing week.
When is SAT testing week?
Sometime in April, celebration.
Okay, but
Okay.
I think it's in April because it's like.
yeah, no, you're right.
I think the one thing is if you go to peak, I think they have like peak week the week before spring break.
Yeah, we don't.
You go. Okay.
I'm gone.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe let's just avoid times around the spring break because people will be,
So that'd be like the last 2 weeks of March.
yeah.
Got it.
For this one, I think we usually try to plan for a Saturday, like in the morning-ish during the day, because then the clubs are able to come, but the students are also able to come. So just looking at March, does anyone have any ideas for dates that we might want to propose?
Yeah, 3 weekends before the last 2 weeks of March.
Any opinions? Anyone not available on any of those dates?
I know it's far in advance to planning, but.
I think maybe just like the 15th to start.
The week before,
Yeah,
before peak week, and then, okay.
yeah.
It's only for PTP students. It's like they have like a week before spring break.
Hours of class learning. So it's like, I don't know what comes to read that. I don't know what you're doing like.
Dang.
Are you guys going to need to prepare for that?
I think we leave this Saturday before.
So you leave the 15th?
So that would be probably so yeah, I think the 8th would work well. Does anybody have any strong opinions about having it on the 1st or the 8th? Okay. All right. So vote. Okay, raise your hands if you think that we should hold the STEM-a-thon on March 8th. It's that second Saturday.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, that is definitely majority.
I'm gonna go ahead and say March 1st gonna be the backup then.
Yes, that would probably be. Okay, great. And then we made the work group guys, so.
Yes, the work group can also work on inventory, like what the policy all need as well. And whatever marketing associated with that as well, you get marketing that. Out like where. Oh, Jimmy, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be there.
I love the target.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. All right,
We're
so
back.
moving on then, that's all the events that we have upcoming, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. So now we have staff updates. So the volunteer dinner was rescheduled. So it is rescheduled for January 10th. It's at 6 p.m. at the community center. And then you want to talk about, yeah.
Okay, so the volunteer dinner is a dinner for you all, because you all are volunteers. Big surprise, I know. So, it's a dinner celebrating your successes as a council and all the volunteer hours that you put into the town, whether it be just your personal volunteer hours associated with our town events or helping park staff around town, or all your accomplishments associated with the council here as well. There's free food. It's a great way to get to know the other committees around town, as well as a great way to network with people who work in the town or people on our town board. That's it's a rule over here. There's usually a slideshow that goes on. It's not like black tie or anything, so you don't need to dress up really too much for it. But it's a great little social event celebrating your successes. You're more than welcome to come, not mandatory. That's really about it. But I just got scheduled to January 10th. So put that on your calendars and we hope to see you there, basically.
And that's a Friday for anybody who, doesn't have.
It is a Friday.
Yes.
Just the other thing to note in terms of scheduling is that our next meeting is not going to be the first Wednesday of January.
Thank you for
It's going to
reminding.
be the second Wednesday of January, which is the 8th, because we're not meeting on New Year's Day. So just mark your calendars for
I
that.
will not be here for that. So January, we'll put that on the calendar and I'll update the group meeting to put that, to send out a reminder for that as well. Do you have any updates from the board at all?
Actually, yeah, I have a couple of things.
Let's do it.
Shut real quick. This is from Jen Cower. I think you guys might be where she went to Washington DC a few weeks ago to work on a bill. And she's pleased to say that the bill fixing the tax law on fire settlements. This means everyone who gets paid any settlements in Marshall Fire can keep all of it. None of it goes back to the tax for the government. So that's a really, really big thing that Jen was able to accomplish with all the people she's been working with. She's in Maui right now. Don't think that she's in Maui on the beach drinking out of a coconut. She's actually helping to fight the victims. So she's actually working. And we definitely applaud every effort that Jen does. Makes the board very, very proud. The election went into a recount and that was just settled today. And I'm pleased to say that I was reelected. Mike Foster was elected with the most number of votes. We really not wow. And Heather Craycraft took the third spot. So we've got a really good board starting on Monday. I'm really excited about the people and a lot of really good things coming to that. And let me be self-indulgent for a second here. How many people in this room are seniors? Okay, do you guys kind of have any idea what you want to do with your life? You have your whole life planned out in 50 years. Heard that? Anybody? Reason I'm saying this is I know like STEM is a really big thing. Engineering is a very, very popular thing. One profession that seems not to get a lot of press. I'm an architect, and I kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit about thinking of that as a career path and the benefits of going into architecture. You will make no money to start. You'll be broke for a period of time. But if you think of it this way, it does encompass a lot of things that a STEM career does. There's a lot of science, technology, engineering, math. The math is easy. It's all fractions. You know, we have to worry about calculus. So, you know, if you're not brain like that, like I'm not, it's not bad. But whereas my first boss told me, when you start off in engineering, here's your pay scale, and it goes like this. When you start off in architecture, it's here. But the good thing about that is it just goes right like this, and you can do the sky's the limit for whatever you want to do as a profession. So to kind of sweeten the deal, I want to make an offer to you guys. If anybody is interested, I'm currently building a house in Old Town. It's my own house, but it's designed for my wife, and it is a international style modern home, and it's built with a courtyard in the center. If anybody would like to tour it, I'd certainly like to open it up to you guys. It's framed, the roof is on it, the stucco is going to be going on starting tomorrow. The interior is still skeleton, so you can see all the mechanical, the electrical, the plumbing, the fire safety system. So it'll kind of give you a really good idea about what it actually means to be an architect, creating a residential house. So if anybody is interested, Jeremy, if you maybe could talk with the leaders here and set up a date, I'd love to walk you guys through and kind of show you what we do as a profession, just to give you guys an option, because I know not a lot is talked about architecture anymore, but so that's my self-indulgent speech.
So walk through the dates.
And I can do it during the week, I can do it weekend. Weekend's probably better because it's later out during the day. It's like dark at 4:30, but yeah, whatever works for you guys.
I also can speak a little bit on that. I have a really good friend out in Seattle. He designs LEED certified buildings, and it's quite phenomenal the way architectural minds work. Because you create some phenomenal art in the form of a building. It's really cool stuff. Yeah, I can talk with our leadership here. See if we can make that happen. That could be very interesting.
Absolutely.
I think otherwise, no other.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think we're good, and y'all want to adjourn.
Yeah, so I move to adjourn the meeting. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, meeting adjourns.